I just want to talk a little bit about my experience as a Namibian artist, especially as a woman Namibian artist. I went through a lot of difficulties, like so many obstacles that I don't even know where to begin because of course, from the beginning, I grew up as an orphan from a very young age, and I never really had the support from any parental support in my career or to grow and to develop my artistic experience. And I remember one day in the early 2000s when I was still just out of high school, my relatives in the northern part of Namibia were literally forcing me to become a police officer because there was a need in the family for some type of, like a safety net. And that pressure was placed on me because as a woman, again, as a young woman, it's again this thing of that the young ladies have to pick up the pieces and to support the family. And I remember being, of course, very difficult and telling them, no, that's not what I want to do. This is not my life path. What I want to do is to become an artist, and this is what I want to do. And I remember there was this friction within the family because they couldn't understand, like, what do you mean you're saying no? You want a safety net in this family. And I remember over the years, we just couldn't see each other eye to eye, and I kept working, doing all kinds of jobs from what some artists in Namibia refer to as mundane jobs, like working at preschools and kindergartens and courier shops, and I did all this kind of job while at the same time in the evenings I am working on my artwork. And I never had the support, not from any organization, not from the art council or whatever. I like everything that I've been doing from the time I started becoming this professional Namibian artist. It was through my own strength, through my own struggles, going to work in the mornings, working with these little children at the school, at the DHPS here in Windhoek. And but then I always had this obligation to go back to my canvases and to work and to cry. There was a lot of tears, of course, a lot of emotional burdens because there's just no support. Yeah? And then people think being an artist is this glamorous thing. They're like, oh, look at me. Oh, yeah, I want to be an artist. But you know what? I've heard it so many times. So many artists in Namibia, here in Windhoek, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm an artist. I'm a Namibian artist, but I'm not going to work for anybody because I'm an artist. And from my experience, I had to juggle all kinds of jobs, and I had to push on, and I had to really focus, and I had to grab the opportunities to go to the Cape Town art fairs, and and today, sometimes I even get voice notes. People are like, okay, Tuli, you are now an artist somewhere there in Germany, so how the heck do I get there? Can you connect me to some people in Europe that can help me with my work? But the thing is, people don't understand how I got there. The sacrifices that I had to deal with, and growing up as an orphan, don't have the support. Even today, some of my families don't even know what I'm doing, but ironically, they're benefiting today. Even the relatives that wanted me to become a police officer, they benefited.
Experience and what I experienced. I've always been quite the rebel my whole life. I'm a performance artist, so I do everything from music to acting to dancing to poetry to DJing. And of course, my experience was also having to do those small little jobs because I went to law school straight out of high school, and I dropped out of law school and I started DJing, but at the same time to kind of sustain myself because I had this idea where I think it comes down to respecting because people think that artists are lazy and you're just choosing the easy way out, which is in fact not that because we are being artists, but at the same time to support ourselves, you're doing those odd jobs like you. I was also working as a part-time teacher. I did social media on the side for this company. I did this and I did this. Eventually, I did end up getting my degree because my parents were in my ear about just have that paper to be able to look after yourself. And I think a lot of, as artists, we live double lives. You have this life where you are an artist on one side, and for me personally, I work in corporate. I'm a copywriter for a very big bank, and I have to somehow balance still staying sane by having the ability to express myself artistically, but at the same time having responsibilities. I had a daughter, she's turning 4 years old, and when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had not had my degree yet. I didn't have a job and I had to sustain myself by DJing, by performing, because I had this thing in my mind that I couldn't rely on other people, be it my parents, be it family. So with that little human being inside of me, I was DJing just to prove something to the world, that I'm not gonna stop who I am at my core just because society is telling me, oh, you have a daughter, so you can't follow your dreams anymore. Until this day, I was pregnant 3 months, and there's this video I always get back to when I was on stage and I was dancing, and you would never know that there's a person inside of me. But I knew that I had something to prove to myself, something to prove to my future child, that society will not decide that no, you can't be an artist because you won't be able to take care of yourself. I mean, do I wish that I could fully, completely sustain myself and my child by doing what I love, which is being on stage? Yes, I do. But I've been pushed into this spot where, and I'm actually grateful for it, where I'm able to show that, you can do both. You can go into this corporate life where you have a certain image, where you have to maintain yourself, where you have to work. And I mean, in my job as a copywriter, I'm fortunate to still be able to be creative because I write, I create stories, I tell stories, I create a narrative for the company that I work for. But I'm also aware of how difficult it is because there are times where you have to be at work in the morning and you shot a movie all night. I had that experience in February. I shot the movie until 6 a.m. I had to be at work at 8 a.m. And I showed up and I was so tired. But that fulfillment, knowing that society will not tell me to give up on my dreams because I have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's what keeps me going. The hope that platforms such as this will create an avenue for me to one day say, you know what? I'm an artist, I'm an actress, I'm a musician, and this is what I do. But I will still look back at where I came from and know that it was worth it.
Thank you.